My sister was the perfect girl, meticulously crafted by our parents. I was born merely to be her backdrop, but I never hated her. Until her 18th birthday, when she plunged from the 23rd floor, her body shattered. She left only one message: "I'm truly sorry." Our parents were utterly distraught with fear. And from that day on, I began to grow more beautiful. On Iris's 18th birthday, Mother woke early to cook longevity noodles for her. At the dining table, she tenderly instructed, "You absolutely must not bite the noodles. You must eat them all in one go, understood?" The noodles were fresh from the pot, and sitting opposite, I could feel the heat on my face. I couldn't help but speak up. "You'll burn your mouth, Iris. Let them cool a little." Before I could finish, Mother, who had been affectionately gazing at Iris, suddenly changed her expression and bellowed, "What the hell do you know? Eat your bun." I stifled myself, bowed my head, and continued to eat my bun. This scene played out daily. It no longer bothered me. Iris, on the other hand, quickly interjected to appease Mother. "Ilara is just worried I'll get hurt, Mother. Please don't speak to her like that. I'll eat them right away. You woke up early to cook for me, and I'm very happy." With that, she picked up the hot noodles and ate them, disregarding the heat. Mother saw that Iris was truly obedient, not biting the noodles, and a satisfied smile spread across her face. While Mother was in the kitchen, I, pained, poured Iris a glass of water. "Does it burn? Why do you always have to listen to her?" Iris smiled, patting my head. "She's still our mother, Ilara. Don't always confront her." I pouted, whispering, "You're good, Mother is bad." My words made Iris laugh. As we were laughing happily, Mother returned. She eyed me suspiciously. "What are you saying to your sister? Don't corrupt her, understand?" I stuck out my tongue at her, teasing. "I'm asking Iris to skip school tonight and go out." Mother, furious, put down the items and reached out to strike me. Suddenly, Iris beside me screamed, "Mother!" Mother, startled, reflexively turned to Iris. "What is it?" Iris said seriously. "Nothing, I just suddenly wanted to thank you for raising me." While Mother was stunned, I slipped back to my room. When she regained her composure, she could only point helplessly at Iris's forehead. "This girl." Then, she took out the birthday gift she had prepared and gave it to Iris. I emotionlessly packed my school bag in my room. Actually, today was my birthday too, but Iris and I weren't twins. She was 3 years older than me. Whenever outsiders learned we shared a birthday, they would exclaim, "A match made in heaven?" But I knew that wasn't the case. The doctor's estimated due date for me was 10 days after my actual birth date. Mother's eyes were bloodshot and frenzied as she clung to the hospital window. "I must give birth today. Operate on me. I'll take responsibility if I die." My father even snatched a scalpel, declaring he wouldn't let anyone live in peace if they didn't operate on Mother. Reluctantly, the doctor had to perform the surgery. As Iris grew older, she became increasingly exceptional, the perfect girl in everyone's eyes. She was tall, beautiful, intelligent, filial, kind, smart, and diligent. In short, all the beautiful words in the world converged in her. I, on the other hand, was utterly ordinary, neither intelligent nor beautiful. When I was little, my classmates would point at me and say, "Her sister is so pretty, why is Ilara so ugly?" Exactly, she's short, ugly, bad at school, and has a weird personality. At that time, I was very sad, resenting my parents and even resenting Iris. I would run away and refuse to come home, but Iris always found my hiding place and gently coaxed me out. I bit her shoulder as if wanting to vent my anger. With such a perfect sister, why was I even born? Iris hugged me tightly, repeatedly telling me, "Our Ilara is also very good." The less others see your good points, the more you must see them yourself. It's not only perfect children who deserve to live. Children who are needed by others must also exist. Iris really needs Ilara. Afterward, she took my hand and led me to eat hot pot. That was the first time I had ever eaten hot pot. Normally, at home, such unhealthy things were strictly forbidden. Everyone only ate meat, eggs, milk, vegetables, and fish, with little oil and little salt. Our parents said that perfect daughters shouldn't touch such strange foods. I devoured it, while Iris just sat opposite, watching me eat, occasionally reminding me to slow down. I told her to eat with me, but she hesitated and shook her head. Mother said I'm not allowed to eat it. I was young then, and only thought Iris was a bit strange, but she was very, very good. Therefore, even though our parents always compared me to Iris later on, I never hated her. As I grew older, I felt as if Iris was trapped in the shell of the perfect girl. Her life was not her own to decide, and her body was not her own to control. I was getting ready for school. In the living room, Iris was expressing her gratitude to Mother for the diamond crown birthday gift. Mother patted Iris's shoulder with satisfaction. You are truly the precious jewel of our family. Understood. Is this aimed at me? So I'm the toad in this family's toilet, am I? I was about to leave when Iris suddenly said, Mother, today is also Alara's birthday. Can I give this crown to her? According to your father and me, isn't simply giving you life enough? This year, of course, I didn't expect anything. To my surprise, Mother broke her rule and said, I've already prepared your sister's gift. With that, she handed me a stack of documents. I took them and flipped through them, the corner of my mouth almost twitching. It was a stack of insurance contracts, including medical accident insurance, traffic accident insurance, sudden death insurance, and comprehensive accident insurance. Seeing Iris looking at me curiously, I casually tossed the contracts onto the table. A package deal insurance is good, mainly for good luck. With that, I walked out. To my surprise, as soon as I left the apartment complex, Iris chased after me. Breathless, she pressed something into my hand. I looked down, it was a jade Buddha pendant. The jade was crystal clear, its color exquisite. Its touch was warm and smooth. Iris smiled as she put it on me. This is my birthday gift to you, don't take it off. I reflexively wanted to refuse. Did Mother give this to you again? I don't need it. She'll just hit me later. To my surprise, Iris spoke to me seriously this time. You must wear it, this wasn't from Mother. Don't let them see it, understood? Iris was always gentle and polite to everyone. This was the first time she had spoken to me so seriously. For a moment I was stunned, but in a flash she gave a faint smile. Be good, come home early tonight, I have something I want to tell you. I grinned mischievously, asking her, Are you in love? Don't worry, I won't tell Mother and Father. She froze, then her face flushed. Don't talk nonsense. I giggled and ran off. Still won't admit it. Isn't it that hot boy, Noah Chu? I approve of this brother-in-law. On the way, I walked and thought. Iris had been a little strange these past few days. We huddled together under one blanket, whispering secrets. Iris, when it's time for university entrance exams, I definitely want to go to a school really far from home. I've thought it through. I want to go to a coastal city. Once I leave, I won't come back. They don't truly care for me anyway. But I'm a little hesitant about leaving you. Can you secretly visit me then? Forget about all those perfect girl rules. You can eat whatever you want. I'll take you to catch seafood, eat seafood hot pot, and watch the sunrise over the sea. Iris remained silent. I thought she had fallen asleep. To my surprise, just as my voice faded, she suddenly spoke. Okay. I was startled. She had broken her rule and agreed this time. The more I thought about it, the more it felt wrong. I took out my phone, wanting to clarify. Patting my pocket, I realized I hadn't brought my phone. I secretly resolved. Tonight, when I get home, I must get to the bottom of this with Iris. They say that in spring, people are prone to mental illness. Iris shouldn't go crazy from being under pressure for too long. Lost in thought, I arrived at school. As soon as I entered the classroom, a familiar voice called my name. Ilara! I turned around. It was indeed the legendary hot boy, my future brother-in-law, Noah Chu. He seemed a little awkward. Iris isn't coming to school today? I shook my head. Because the university entrance exams are coming up, Mother asked for leave for her so she could study at home. Noah Chu seemed a little disappointed, then handed me an exquisitely wrapped gift box. This is my birthday present for her. Can you help me give it to her? I raised an eyebrow. Birthday gift? I wonder if Iris found the birthday gift I hid. She'll definitely like this one. I took the gift and turned to leave. Noah Chu called out again. Wait, please tell her for me. I want to take the exam with her for Beijing and meet at Wyoming Lake. After saying that, Noah Chu's face flushed and he ran off. I couldn't help but laugh. Beijing, huh? That's not bad. For some reason, I felt uneasy all day today, my heart pounding as if it wanted to leap from my chest. During the last class, I slumped onto my desk and fell asleep. I dreamed of Iris again. In my dream, she was covered in blood, but her eyes were as warm as ever. She smiled and said to me, Ilara, you must remember me. I woke up with a start, only to find everyone staring at me. My desk mate looked at me worriedly. You were talking in your sleep very loudly. At that moment, I had only one thought. I wanted to see Iris. Immediately, I ran like mad towards home. As I reached the last intersection, a truck that had been parked on the side of the road suddenly started up, hurtling straight towards me. I was caught off guard, watching helplessly as the heavy truck bore down on me in a flash. Am I going to die? To my surprise, the truck suddenly stopped for a second. In that instant, a powerful force from behind slammed into my back, pushing me out of the danger zone. I fell to the ground, turning to look back, but there was nothing behind me. The closest onlookers were 10 meters away. Who saved me? I instinctively touched my face and found it wet. I looked up at the sky. Was it raining? Where did this water come from? Someone ran to help me up. Oh dear, little girl, you're crying from fear. It was then I realized that my tears had been falling profusely. I didn't even know why I was crying. Just then, a shrill scream echoed from afar. Someone jumped from a building. My heart seemed to stop. Then I sprang up and ran towards my house. The area below my house was packed with people. Some were taking photos with their phones, others were clamoring to call the police. I trembled as I pushed through the crowd. An irritated auntie grumbled. I didn't have time to pay attention. My limbs felt like jelly, my mind a blank. Everything seemed illogical, but a faint voice echoed in my heart. You no longer have a sister. Suddenly, Iris's image crashed into my eyes. She lay there, wearing her favorite dress. Her limbs were twisted unnaturally, her long, silky black hair now stained deep crimson with blood. I walked step by step closer to her, then knelt on the ground. I called out softly, afraid to startle her. Iris, I'm home from school. Iris, what did you want to tell me this morning? Iris, Noah Chu bought you a birthday gift. He told me to tell you, see you at Wyoming Lake. Iris, don't sleep anymore, talk to me. Iris. I didn't know when, but the people around me gradually fell silent. No one was taking photos or videos anymore, and no one was chattering. The irritated auntie from earlier couldn't help but gently pat my shoulder. Little girl, you? Just then, a desperate scream rang out. Iris! Two familiar figures rushed forward, stumbling and falling. It was mother and father. They stared at Iris's body, their eyes bloodshot, their expressions very strange. It wasn't grief I saw, but fear. Mother almost went frantic. Why, Iris? Clearly. Her words abruptly stopped, and her entire body trembled uncontrollably. A moment later, a warm stream trickled from beneath her. Mother was so terrified she couldn't stand. The police quickly cordoned off the scene. As soon as my parents and I arrived home, the police were there. We heard you suddenly ran out of class this afternoon. Why? It wasn't even time for school to end. I was stunned, then calmly said, I suddenly had a stomachache. I couldn't possibly say I dreamed of Iris being in trouble. My parents glared at me, as if convinced I was responsible for Iris's death. Officer, is it her? Did she kill Iris? The police officer was taken aback, as if he had never seen parents so quickly accuse their own daughter. Preliminary findings indicate suicide. The victim was clutching a suicide note. We are just following procedure. My parents interrupted him frantically, asking anxiously, the suicide note, what did it say? The police officer handed us the suicide note, enclosed in a plastic bag. On it were only 3 words, I'm truly sorry. I don't know if I was overthinking, but the moment they clearly saw the content of the letter, my parents seemed to sigh in relief. My suspicion grew. After the police left, my parents immediately scurried into their bedroom, whispering in hushed arguments about something. I tiptoed closer, pressing my ear to the door, intending to eavesdrop. To my surprise, the next second, the door suddenly swung open. My parents stood there, looking at me with sinister gazes. What do you want? I shrugged. I'm hungry. If Iris was good at everything, I was only good at one thing, concealing my true emotions deep within. For a moment, my parents couldn't distinguish truth from fiction. They only said coldly, someone died in this house. You still have the appetite to eat? Go hungry then, we have to go out. With that, they hurriedly left. The moment the door clicked shut, I frowned. They locked the door from the outside. Why? Were they afraid I would run away? I tried to organize my chaotic thoughts as I returned to my room. The moment I lay down on the bed, something under my pillow poked me. I reached out and felt it. It was Iris's diary. But why was Iris's diary in my room? I hesitated for a second, then opened the diary. It was disappointing. There was almost no useful information in the diary. The first 100 pages were all expressions of gratitude to our parents, along with some ordinary school and daily life matters. The kind of thing that, if shown to others, could make other parents' children choke with envy. Actually, Iris writing a diary was not a secret. Mother often brought Iris's diary out to brag, reading aloud the passages filled with gratitude. It was one of Mother's favorite pastimes. Flipping through the pages, I suddenly discovered that the diary entry from 2 days ago was a little unusual. The handwriting that day was particularly messy and scrawled, unlike Iris's elegant usual script. Why was that? Iris, I'm sorry. Flipping another page, several blood-red lines of text jumped out at me. It seemed Iris had written this hastily today, extremely messy, almost illegible. I give you back to yourself, and I return myself to myself. It's a pity, a hurried life without ever seeing the sea, without ever tasting seafood hot pot. Live for me, watch the sunset by the sea and the wind on the horizon. Live a passionate life, I love you. My nose stung, and tears streamed down onto Iris's diary. Iris, I regret it so much. I didn't hug you this morning. I didn't say a proper goodbye when we parted. When we met again, we were separated by life and death. I wiped away my tears, trying to calm down. Iris's diary felt like it was hiding the truth. She didn't seem to want me to investigate the cause of her death, but all of this was so strange, how could I accept it? I suddenly jumped out of bed and rushed into Iris's room. I looked for her phone and computer, quickly scanning through them, but still found nothing. Even the trash bin and browsing history had been wiped clean. On my phone, there was only one missed call from Iris. She hadn't left me any clues. I was unwilling to give up. Just then, my phone rang a video call invitation on WeChat. As soon as I connected, Ben Wang's boisterous voice came through. "Big sis, are we meeting at the base to play games today? Kai is here too, only missing you." "What the hell, Alara, why do you look more beautiful?" Immediately, another voice chimed in. "Huh, let me see." Immediately after, Ben Wang and Kai's two faces, one chubby and one thin, crowded the screen, staring at me wide-eyed. "Oh my god, did you get plastic surgery?" "No, she wasn't like this yesterday." "More beautiful?" I frowned, found a mirror, and looked at my reflection, immediately freezing. My naturally dark skin was now extraordinarily smooth. My small monolid eyes had become clear and deep, with corners slightly upturned as if holding starlight. My teeth were perfectly even and white, no longer crooked. But I didn't feel happy at all. It only sent shivers down my spine. Because I saw Iris's reflection in my eyes, especially those sparkling eyes, almost identical to hers. Without much time to think, I looked at Ben Wang on the screen, who was praising enthusiastically, marveling that anything could happen in this world. "You can recover deleted data from phones and computers, right?" Seeing him nod, I quickly said, "Wait for me at the base." After saying that, I hung up the video call. I hastily threw my belongings into my backpack. Immediately after, my nose caught a strange smell, like rotten eggs. I walked suspiciously towards the kitchen, finding that the gas stove knob had been turned open at some point. Was gas leaking? I held my breath, ran to the window, pushed it open, then turned off the gas stove. Just as I was still suspicious, a horrifying sight appeared. In the empty kitchen, the gas stove knob automatically turned. With a click, gas began to leak again. I was numb. My instinct screamed that I couldn't stay here. It seemed something was trying to kill me. But the door was locked from the outside. I suddenly remembered there was a sharp fire axe in the storage room. At this moment, I couldn't care about anything else. I ran straight to the storage room, and as I pushed open the door, a saw fell from above, nearly splitting my head in two. One swing, two swings, three swings, the pent-up resentment in my heart seemed to escape with each strike. In a daze, I seemed to hear chaotic, muffled grievances. What's going on? Didn't they say a ghost feast was opening here? Exactly, is she dead or not? Too many things had happened today, so many that I was numb. I didn't want to think about who was talking or what they were saying. I just wanted the truth. I just wanted Iris back. I frantically broke the door down and rushed out. Just then, the old man opposite was walking his dog home, looking at me and the axe in my hand with an astonished expression. I smiled at him, trying to appear friendly, but he seemed even more scared. So I had to explain seriously, "I'm so hungry, I'm going out to eat. If my parents come back, please let them know." With that, I left the old man, who was about to say something, and ran away. The old man's face was full of surprise. "She's that hungry." When I stumbled into the base's gate, I looked almost like a refugee. On the way, I had encountered all sorts of things: flower pots falling from the sky, leaky electrical wires, aggressive guard dogs chasing me. Fortunately, I had mentally prepared myself, and each step was cautious, which saved my life. Ben Wang ran to help me up. "We just heard about your sister. We're so sorry for your loss." "Wait, why are you taller?" It was then I realized that I, who was originally only 1.55 meters tall, barely reached Ben Wang's shoulder. But now I only needed to lift my head slightly to look him directly in the face. I suddenly remembered that on my desperate run, my whole body's bones had creaked and my leg bones ached. Could I be growing taller? Kai also came closer. Oh my God, the eighth wonder of the world. I wearily waved my hand. "Kai, is your great-grandfather here?" Actually, it was called a base, but it was just Kai's ancestral home. A not too large quadrangle house, but it was my favorite place. Ben Wang, Kai, and I were outcasts in the eyes of all our classmates. No one wanted to play with us. Ben Wang had an older brother with whom he was codependent. He was a top hacker, the kind who could use a keyboard to infiltrate the Pentagon. Then, because he wrote a program that transferred 1 cent from all national bank accounts into his own, he was wanted by the police. Initially, he hid very well until Ben Wang was in middle school and his record was flagged because of this. Only then did his brother brazenly turn himself in. We heard he was sentenced to life in prison, but the strange thing was that ever since his brother went to prison, someone deposited money into Ben Wang's account every month. When they faced difficulties, a mysterious person would step in to resolve them. Every few months, his brother would write him a letter. Therefore, Ben Wang firmly believed that his brother had been recruited by the state. But everyone at school didn't think so. Many said his brother was the worst kind of criminal. Ben Wang got into many fights because of this, and gradually became isolated as an outcast. As for Kai, he himself was very ordinary. It was just his great-grandfather who was quite strange. Kai's family was very peculiar. His grandparents and parents all died young. Only his great-grandfather was still alive, living with Kai. Moreover, he claimed to cultivate immortality, only needing one more lightning strike to ascend. Normally, he was a bit dirty, but his mind was full of strange stories. Although we couldn't tell truth from fiction, we found it captivating. But everyone at school said he was an immortal old man who brought death to 2 generations of his family and would eventually kill Kai too. Kai's eyes would turn red, and he'd rush to fight anyone who said that. After being pulled away, he would still cry and say, "Even if he harms me, he's still my great-grandfather. I would gladly die for him." And me, my appearance was nothing special, and my personality was even worse, so of course I wasn't welcomed. Everyone at school called us the freak trio. Everyone shunned us, no one liked us. After school, we would always gather at this base, either playing games or chatting, not caring about the opinions of others. While Kai went to find his great-grandfather, I handed Iris's computer and phone to Ben Wang. "Can you recover the data?" Ben Wang typed a few keys on the keyboard, confidently saying, "No problem, it's not difficult." Just then, Kai also pulled his great-grandfather out. The old man saw me and was so scared he scrambled up the old pagoda tree in the courtyard. "Oh my God, on the solstice alignment day, a ghost feast is opening. Little girl, you are truly a living bodhisattva." The 3 of us looked at each other, bewildered. "What is it?" the old man sighed, sliding down the tree trunk. "Little girl, look behind your ear." Ben Wang came closer. There's a strange symbol, like a circle and 2 vertical lines." The old man gave a cold laugh. "That's a ghost mark, symbolizing that this person has opened a feast, inviting hungry ghosts from all directions to claim their life." Historically, on one of the solstice alignment days, the energies of heaven and earth intertwine strongly, and strange things often happen. Opening a ghost feast on a solstice alignment day will attract malevolent spirits within a 100-mile radius to find every way to kill you. Something flashed in my mind. The old man drew a talisman, burned it to ash, put it in water, and told me to drink it. Although the taste was strange, I felt much more comfortable after drinking it. The symbol behind my ear also disappeared. Immediately after, I suddenly stiffened. "Grandpa, I think I see." The old man mumbled, "You're not mistaken, and you'll see more later. My old man's talismans are worth 1,000 gold. Consider it a gift to you today." "Oh, no need to be so polite, it's not necessary at all." I saw that outside the quadrangle house, it was filled with strange people. Some were clutching their heads, some were carrying severed legs, and some were holding their intestines. They looked at me angrily. "Are you crazy? Are you making fun of us? We may not be human, but you're a real dog." I was numb. "I'm not dead, I'm guilty." Just then, Ben Wang shouted, "It's done. The data from the computer and phone have been recovered." I quickly scanned through, finding most of the content normal, except for one deleted photo that was a bit strange. It was a Taoist priest certificate, and the owner was my father. Since I could remember, my parents had never worked, but our family had always been well off. My parents owned over a dozen rental properties, and their stock investments usually yielded profits. Then I checked the phone. An unsaved number caught my attention. Iris had been continuously calling this number since 2 days ago. I tried calling it with my phone, and to my surprise, it rang. Immediately after, a phone bell echoed throughout the quadrangle house. In an instant, I glared at Kai's great-grandfather. Ben Wang and Kai were also stunned, mouths agape, looking at the old man. The old man, trembling, took out an old Nokia phone wrapped in 3 plastic bags, fumbling to hang up, his face full of embarrassment. Was he saying he had Alzheimer's now, and it was still not too late? Our 4 eyes met, and my gaze gradually turned cold. Kai awkwardly tugged at the old man's sleeve. "Grandpa, explain the situation. Otherwise, you'll meet my great-grandmother." The old man hesitated for a while, then sighed. "Your sister came to me 2 days ago. She knew you were close to Kai, so she begged me. I didn't kill her. I even gave her a jade Buddha pendant." I pulled out the jade Buddha pendant around my neck and asked, "Is it this one?" He nodded, then lowered his voice. "Have you ever heard of the Jiang Nu prosperity ritual?" I shook my head. The old man exhaled a murky breath, his eyes half closed. "The 5 ghosts fortune ritual, the Jiang Nu prosperity ritual, they are all about pitiable people." Old man Kai told us an ancient story. Legend has it that in ancient times, there was a mysterious small kingdom called Qingyi Jiang Nation. Its ruler, named Anyang, was an ancient Jiang person. King Anyang possessed extraordinary talent, handsome and dashing, even captivating Jiang Nu, the guardian deity of the Jiang nation for generations. The two, despite the differences between human and god, secretly pledged a century of love. But problems arose from this. Jiang Nu was a goddess, a favored child of the gods. Not only was she flawless and perfect herself, but she could also bless the Jiang nation with favorable weather, peace and prosperity for the nation, allowing its people to live in peace, without worldly strife. But King Anyang believed that since she was his wife, she should think more for him. Since Jiang Nu possessed such abilities, why couldn't she enable the Jiang nation to sweep across the land and dominate the Central Plains? His ambition grew increasingly boundless, even wishing all living beings to prostrate themselves at his feet. Not even his wife, Jiang Nu, should surpass him. Therefore, on a recent solstice alignment day, at Jiang Nu's weakest moment, King Anyang used 4 soul-fixing nails, hammering them into Jiang Nu's eyes, tongue, and heart. Then, taking advantage of Jiang Nu's immobility and extreme pain, he skinned her alive. Jiang Nu was skinned, but not yet dead, watching helplessly as her husband used her skin to make a cadaver coffin. From then on, King Anyang no longer needed Jiang Nu. He used violence to force the people to bear daughters on the solstice alignment day. All infant girls who met the criteria had to be handed over to him. He placed these infants into the cadaver coffin. Any girl who survived for 12 hours would then become the new Jiang Nu, capable of attracting blessings from all directions, gathering wealth from all corners, and moreover, being utterly obedient and docile. Later, King Anyang discovered that mortals, after all, could not match the power of gods. The girls forcibly transformed into Jiang Nu often had extremely short lifespans. So he again ordered sorcerers to use medicine and secret arts to compel the biological parents of those girls to continuously bear daughters on the solstice alignment day, using these sisters as sacrificial offerings for the Jiang Nu, providing nourishment to the Jiang Nu. These girls, serving as offerings, were not only ordinary in every aspect, but also died tragically in the ghost feast on the day the Jiang Nu matured. Under his tyrannical rule, the Qingyi Jiang nation grew increasingly powerful, even vaguely possessing the strength to contend for hegemony over the Central Plains. Old man Kai paused for a moment. After that great catastrophe, the Qingyi Jiang nation perished. King Anyang was torn apart by 5 horses, but the cadaver coffin vanished without a trace, with no records left in historical texts. Until 2 days ago, a clue finally emerged. I frowned and asked, "So Iris was transformed into a Jiang Nu? That's why she was so perfect." The old man nodded, sighing. "Your parents were expelled from the Taoist sect back then precisely because they did too many sinister deeds. Now that I think about it, perhaps they are descendants of that ancient king. Using the cadaver coffin to draw wealth and fortune, not even sparing their own flesh and blood. If they succeed this time, after your death, Iris will also lose her free will, becoming a puppet completely controlled by them. Originally, the jade pendant I gave her contained a part of her soul, which could temporarily keep her spiritual consciousness clear. Who knew she would give it to you? But if she hadn't, perhaps you wouldn't have lived until now." Hearing this, I roughly understood the whole story. No wonder Iris and I were both born on the 19th of March. Iris was the Jiang Nu responsible for attracting wealth and blessings for our parents, and I was her sacrificial offering, providing nourishment for her. Iris probably knew nothing until 2 days ago when she accidentally overheard our parents' conversation and learned the truth. In a fit of anger, she asked our parents why they treated me this way. Our parents appeased her, saying that if she didn't want this, the evil ritual could be dispelled. Iris believed them. She originally wanted to wait until the evil ritual was dispelled to tell me everything. Unexpectedly, on our birthday, the fact that our parents bought insurance for me made Iris feel that something was wrong. In a hurry, she only managed to give me the jade pendant before frantically contacting old man Kai. Only then did she learn that the evil ritual could fundamentally not be dispelled. Only if the Jiang Nu died would the sacrificial offering have a glimmer of hope to live. Therefore, Iris didn't hesitate and jumped from the 20th floor, leaving me only a faint glimmer of hope. Even if she didn't know if I could survive, she was willing to gamble her life once, just betting that I would live. Old man Kai looked at me intently. Your sister left no words because she didn't want you to be in danger. Now that the Jiang Nu is dead, your good fortune has returned to you, and with the jade pendant, you will not be controlled by your parents. You will have a more prosperous life than others. Your sister's last wish was for you to be safe and free to leave. I was stunned. Go watch the sunset by the sea and the wind on the horizon? Will I be admired by thousands of people like Iris? I bowed my head and looked at my reflection in a cup of water. It seemed like a stranger. I vaguely felt that not only was I more beautiful, but I also seemed smarter. Math formulas that I normally struggled to learn now seemed easy to grasp. Essays I had read once I could recite fluently. If I wanted to, I could live as brilliantly as Iris. Everyone would like me. It's just that, however beautiful that life was, it wasn't what I wanted. I looked up at the old man. All things in this world, yin and yang, are balanced. The good things in this world won't all go to my parents, right? What exactly are they afraid of? The old man was startled for a moment, then laughed heartily. There are 3,000 paths. One cannot stop those who wish to die, nor can one prevent those who wish to live. I returned home. As soon as I reached the door, I heard my parents arguing. She's run off. What do we do now? Our last glimmer of hope is gone. If the backlash began, old man Kai had told me that, from ancient times, all the souls of the Jiang Nu were trapped in the cadaver coffin, unable to find liberation. Only by destroying the cadaver coffin could Iris's soul be freed. 3 days from now was the moon rupture day, the only chance to destroy the cadaver coffin. At the same time, our parents would surely do everything they could to make me the new Jiang Nu. Because the previous Jiang Nu committed suicide, if there was no new Jiang Nu to succeed, our parents would suffer a backlash. All the souls they had harmed would return to claim their lives. They would be dragged down to the 18 levels of hell, enduring one punishment after another, endlessly repeating. Unless heaven's way collapses and all things return to one, they would never find liberation. But that was also my only chance. Only by letting them take me to the cadaver coffin to complete the Jiang Nu ritual would I have the opportunity to destroy everything. I composed myself and pushed open our creaky front door. My parents were startled. Seeing me return, their eyes immediately lit up. Where did you go? When they clearly saw my appearance, they seemed very surprised, mumbling, "This is still fortunate. It can actually flow back to the sacrificial offering. Heaven hasn't cut off our path to life. She might truly become the new Jiang Nu." I feigned confusion. What? My parents regained their composure, their attitude becoming unusually gentle. Nothing. Are you hungry? Mother will cook for you. I nodded and went to my room. On the living room table, a square box caught my attention. I was about to pick it up and look when Father snatched it away. "It's nothing, just some documents. You go rest quickly." I glimpsed Father taking the box into the kitchen. What kind of documents would be kept in the kitchen? But I dared not act too unusually. If they discovered anything abnormal, I would lose my only chance. Not long after, Mother brought out a freshly cooked bowl of noodles. She stared at me, a strange smile on her face. "Today, Alara, on your birthday, you must eat longevity noodles. Be good, eat quickly, live a long life." I stared at the bowl of noodles for a long time, the corner of my mouth curving upwards. Iris ate noodles this morning and she died. It seems Mother's noodles are truly a good omen. Her expression immediately changed. Just as she was about to say something, she saw me suddenly pick up the bowl and devour the noodles. The noodles were very dry and hard. Inside, there were also things like grit and pebbles that crunched with each bite. But I seemed to feel nothing, eating it all in one go. Seeing this, Mother sighed in relief. Good girl. Suddenly, I knew what was in that box. It was Iris's ashes. That night, I felt my bones aching all over, struggling to breathe, my whole body feeling as if I was tightly squeezed into a sealed box. I vaguely heard my parents' voices. Is it working? It must be fine. When she wakes up tomorrow, she won't remember Iris anymore. We won't have to worry about her causing trouble when we take her to the cadaver coffin in 3 days. She will be our most obedient daughter. The next moment, I plunged into endless darkness. The next morning, I vaguely opened my eyes. Sunlight streamed directly into the room and my whole body felt warm. By the bed, there was a note. Good daughter, mother and father have to go out for something. Be a good girl and rest at home. Mother and father have already asked for leave from school for you. I rubbed my temples, feeling as if I had forgotten something. I stood up and looked around the house. It felt both familiar and strange. On the photo wall in the living room, there were countless pictures of just my parents and me. The 3 of us leaned together, looking incredibly happy. Wait, just the 3 of us? My family only had 3 people, but deep down, something was on the verge of erupting. I instinctively went to knock on the door of the old neighbor's house opposite. He looked at me with curiosity. What is it, girl? I thought for a moment, then carefully asked, although the question is a bit strange, I still want to ask you, how many people are in my family? The old man thought I was crazy. His tone was full of pity. There are only 3 people in your family. I returned home in a daze and again saw a slightly ajar door. I instinctively pushed it open, only to find it was a storage room, piled high with messy things. In a hidden corner of my memory, a figure flickered, but I couldn't see it clearly. I stepped into the room. Why did I feel that this room shouldn't be like this? Suddenly, I stopped. In a hidden corner of the room, there was a soft click, as if the floor was hollow. I bent down, hooked my fingers under the edge of the wooden floorboard, and gently lifted it, immediately holding my breath. It was an exquisitely wrapped gift box. The butterfly ribbon was very long. That was how I usually wrapped gifts. But why couldn't I remember who I was giving it to? I opened the gift box. Inside was a crystal bird pendant, so lifelike it seemed ready to take flight. I unconsciously held the pendant up, looking at it under the sunlight, but suddenly my eyes widened. The sunlight shining through the crystal bird pendant cast a shadow on the wall. It looked like 2 girls leaning against each other. Who is it? It's me. My head pounded, vague memories struggled to break through. Several images flashed interchangeably. I was designing the pendant's shape. I personally wrapped the gift. I secretly hid the gift under the loose floorboard. That was the secret floorboard only Iris and I knew about. Iris, I have a sister. I ran out of the house like crazy, running towards the base. On the way, I mumbled like someone possessed. I have a sister, don't forget, I don't want to forget, I can't forget my sister. I burst through the base gate. Ben Wang, Kai. The 2 heard my voice and came out. What's wrong? I clutched them, my face distraught. I have a sister, right? They looked bewildered. Huh, aren't you an only child? I was stunned. I knew I definitely had a sister, but why did everyone else not remember? Why was she erased from this world? I buried my face in my hands, sobbing uncontrollably from the pain. A moment later, 2 hands reached out and grabbed my wrists. I looked up. Ben Wang and Kai were looking at me. They must have thought I was insane. After a long while, they smiled and said to me, All right, Alara, you have a sister. As long as you say it, we'll believe you. Don't be afraid, we'll be with you. The so-called freaks were simply those who didn't fit into the world. But who said freaks couldn't be enemies of the whole world? Ben Wang and Kai were always by my side. Whenever my memories were about to be sealed away, they would firmly tell me, Alara, you have a sister. You love her more than your own life. I found my school bag at the base. Inside was the jade pendant along with a note from me, the only relic that couldn't be discovered by our parents temporarily stored here. I put the jade pendant back around my neck. Our parents had already searched me last night, so they probably wouldn't check again. I also found another gift. The giver was Noah Chu. Inside was a graduation bear wearing a graduation gown and cap, with Peking University embroidered on the gown. There was also a letter I wrote to myself. March 22nd, Moon Rupture Day. Iris said I must see myself. She said not to forget her. Remember to destroy the Jiang Nu's cadaver coffin. While my parents hadn't discovered anything yet, I hurried home. To my surprise, they didn't return home for 2 consecutive days. Until the morning of the Moon Rupture Day, my parents returned, looking tired. As soon as Mother entered the door, she stared at me and asked, "Ilara, do you still remember Iris?" She seemed certain that I no longer remembered, only wanting to confirm. But I unexpectedly said, "Remember her, of course." Just as my parents' expressions changed, I shrugged. "Oh, like in the idiom, a single flaw can mar 100 perfections." My parents sighed in relief, a strange smile spreading across their faces. "We can go to the Jiang Nu's cadaver coffin now." I pretended not to understand, hiding all my emotions, but a cold laugh echoed in my heart. How could I not remember? These past few days, my memories had been continuously sealed. I would remember, then forget. Ben Wang and Kai took turns calling me, repeatedly reminding me that I had a sister, but I still wasn't reassured. So I pierced a needle into the inside of my arm. Whenever I felt I was about to forget, I pressed down hard. The sharp pain reminded me I couldn't forget. Only by experiencing it myself could I understand how pitiful the Jiang Nu was. Every word, every action of mine was bound within a perfect shell, not even allowed the slightest deviation. Hobbies, habits, likes and dislikes, personality, emotions, even conscience and judgment. None of it mattered. All of it was forcibly suppressed. I even felt I was no longer myself. In my moments of clarity, I felt heartbroken. So Iris lived like that for 18 years. Then what was the difference between her and a puppet, a lucky mascot? My parents quickly took me away. They were very careful, confiscating my phone and blindfolding me. The car drove for a long time before finally stopping. My parents removed the black cloth from my eyes and led me into a cave. Deep within the cave was a tall, splendid statue of a man wearing a crown, high and mighty. At his feet was a kneeling female statue with a beautiful and gentle face. On the stone tablet next to it was carved, "Heaven, earth, man, God, demons, goblins, all must prostrate themselves before me." I was looking around when my parents suddenly spoke gently. "Ilara, lie down in it." Following the direction of their hands, I saw a human-shaped cadaver coffin, its external appearance identical to that of a woman. I couldn't help but reach out to touch it, but I was startled. The cadaver coffin was like a living thing, warm all over, vaguely rising and falling. My parents continued to coax, lie down in it, and you will be the most perfect person in the world." My parents immediately revealed their true colors. "Ilara, don't even think about escaping today. You must lie in this cadaver coffin." My parents hadn't expected me to still remember Iris, and even less that I knew so many things. They wore gloomy expressions. "You should feel lucky to have this honor." With that, father lunged towards me. I instinctively retreated, but mother blocked my escape route. Just then, a familiar voice rang out from outside. "Ilara, hang in there, we're here." Ben Wang and Kai burst in. My parents hadn't expected that, although they had taken my phone while they were upstairs. Ben Wang had attached a tracking device to their car. All along the way, Ben Wang and Kai had followed. Ben Wang blocked father. Kai threw me a lighter, shouting, "Use fire to burn it." I caught the lighter, intending to set the cadaver coffin on fire, but for some reason, the moment the flame got close to the cadaver coffin, it automatically extinguished. "What's going on? How do I destroy it?" Father threw out 3 talismans. "Evil spirits from the 4 directions, heed my command." As soon as he finished speaking, eerie moans suddenly echoed in the cave, and the temperature abruptly dropped. Several fierce ghosts were surrounding us. Mother flashed a terrifying smile. "The Jiang Nu is originally a god. How could a god fear mortal fire? Only heavenly lightning can destroy the cadaver coffin. But I have calculated it. No heavenly lightning will descend within the next 21 days. Don't struggle in vain." Just as we were backed into a corner, a somewhat sorrowful voice rang out. "Words cannot be exhausted, fearing the impermanence of worldly affairs. Divinations dare not be fully calculated, fearing the impermanence of heaven's way. How do you two know that human resolve cannot triumph over heaven?" A slightly hunched figure slowly walked into the cave. Kai was incredibly agitated. "Grandpa, there are ghosts, save me." Old man Kai, wearing a gray robe, hands clasped behind his back, entered. The fierce ghosts from earlier seemed scared and retreated deeper into the cave. My parents frowned. "Who are you? Don't ruin our good plans." Old man Kai made a strange gesture with his hand. "Who am I? Insignificant. I am here for one thing only. Bring the lightning." Following his words, a rumbling thunder suddenly echoed outside the cave. My parents' expressions immediately changed. "You can summon heavenly lightning." Both of them simultaneously attacked, intending to strike him, but were easily fended off. At the same time, heavenly lightning descended, piercing through the cave, striking directly into the cadaver coffin. The first bolt shattered greed and desire. The second bolt eradicated evil demons and heterodox practices. The third bolt comforted wronged souls. As the final bolt of lightning struck, the cadaver coffin completely turned to dust. Innumerable restless souls flew up into the sky. I called out for Iris in a panic, but Kai cried out in pain even more than I did. Grandpa! Ben Wang and I simultaneously looked over, seeing old man Kai's body gradually becoming transparent. He smiled at us. Don't be sad. Only now do I realize that I waited 100 years not to await a lightning bolt, but to become that lightning bolt. I pass on my cultivation to you three, hoping you maintain your true hearts. There will always be successors. There will always be young people. The cadaver coffin had been destroyed, and the souls imprisoned for thousands of years were finally free. The moment the cadaver coffin shattered, my parents' bodies gradually turned to stone. Although they still had consciousness, they couldn't move. They watched helplessly as countless restless souls surrounded them, their bodies being slowly, bit by bit, crushed into dust. The extreme pain made them want to scream, but no sound would escape. When they were completely crushed, countless hands emerged from the ground, dragging their souls down into the abyss. The 18 levels of hell had prepared a VIP entrance for them. They would endure all punishments, repeatedly, without liberation. Just one sentence shattered all my resilience. I cried, pleading with Iris, "Can you not go?" She reached out and caressed my face. "I should go be reincarnated now. Don't be sad, as long as you remember me, I will always be by your side." I tremblingly took out the gift that Iris hadn't had a chance to open that day, sobbing. "Iris, a birthday gift." She seemed stunned for a moment, then smiled very happily. "So you still haven't forgot. That's good." She reached out and touched the pendant. "Elara, don't forget, always see yourself, even in the abyss." The next moment, the pendant vanished with Iris into the sunlight. I called out loudly, ignoring everything. "Iris, don't forget me. Remember to go watch the sunset by the sea and chase the wind on the horizon." Many years later, Ben Wang, Kai, and I all joined the Department of Supernatural Affairs. By then, we were no longer the outcasts shunned by others. Or perhaps, it should be said that within the Department of Supernatural Affairs, we were the most normal people. At least we didn't keep two red-furred Jiangshi as guard dogs, right? So, whether one is eccentric or not is mainly determined by the environment's perception. Today, we took on a mission at Peking University. After completing the mission, I couldn't help but go to Wyoming Lake. It was indeed very beautiful. I sat by the lake, enjoying the breeze while students whispered nearby, "Professor Chu is waiting by the lake for someone again." My heart suddenly stirred, and I looked over. A familiar figure caught my eye. Noah Chu was sitting by the lake, impeccably dressed in a suit, a fresh bouquet of roses beside him. According to the students, Professor Noah Chu, after graduation, rejected many high-paying job offers, insisting on staying at the university to teach. He said he was waiting for someone, but he didn't specify who he was waiting for. Many thought he was insane, but aside from this, he was excellent in all other aspects. No one found it appropriate to comment. I walked over. "Are you waiting for someone?" Noah Chu looked over, his eyes lighting up then dimming again. He seemed bewildered. "You're not her. I'm waiting for someone, but I don't remember who I'm waiting for. But I still want to wait a little longer. What if she comes tomorrow?" I felt a little sad. Due to the influence of the evil ritual, he had forgotten Iris's existence. But he still remembered that he was waiting for her. I couldn't help him, but he didn't seem to need my help either. He hugged the bouquet of roses, smiling, a glimmer of hope in his eyes, so I smiled. "Yes, who knows, you might meet her tomorrow." As I turned to leave, I brushed past a little girl. On the girl's neck was a small birthmark, like a bird, yet also like two figures leaning against each other. My steps faltered. The girl's parents followed behind her. Mina tenderly instructed, "Iris, run slower, don't fall." The little girl laughed like a silver bell. "It's so beautiful here. I want to go to Peking University too when I grow up and come to Wyoming Lake every day." Her parents couldn't help but laugh. "Getting into Peking University requires excellent grades. We'll try our best, but it's okay if you don't make it. Your parents just want Iris to be happy." The little girl bit her finger, tilted her head in thought for a moment. Then I still want to go to Peking University." Her parents also smiled dotingly. All right, Iris gets to decide everything. To reward our darling, what do you want to eat tonight?" The little girl skipped cheerfully, her pigtails swaying. "Hot pot and Coca-Cola?" The family of three laughed and talked as they walked away. I watched the little girls retreating back. "Iris, I hope in this life you are peaceful and free. May you have a brilliant life."